Back to you guys with another live stream. This time, doing the live stream from my phone specifically. Kind of dim the lights down a little bit, but from my actual phone setup that I have. Um, just wanted to kind of come to you guys today. Of course, first and foremost, if you don't know who I am, I'm the owner of Preferred Pest Management in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you're new to the channel, just looking to not just start and grow a pest control business, but achieve financial freedom ultimately, we'd love to have you in our totally free Discord group chat. We don't charge for anything associated with this channel, but if you want to join that group chat, link is not in the description at the moment. Actually, there's no description at the moment for this live because I went live with the phone for a change. Similar to TikTok, it appears. If there's any questions or anything you all have, of course, shout it out in the comments. It is supposed to show me similar to TikTok lives. And back to what I was saying, if you're not in our Discord already, you'll definitely want to join that. It's not in the description of this video currently, but it will be at the time of the actual upload. And if you want to find that, you can look at any of our other videos as well after this live stream. I see we got a couple of you joining. If there's any issues or anything, in terms of the sound or anything like that, definitely just let me know. We're doing this video just from my actual cell phone, like shooting live today. I do have a microphone that makes the audio, supposed to make the audio at least a little bit better and all that good stuff. I didn't have time today. If you're in our Discord, I was running a little bit late with today's stream. I was expecting to do approximately 2 hours ago, but life happens. Had a longer day working out in the field today, catching up from rain and all that good stuff. You all know how it goes if you're in the pest control world. So everything got kind of delayed for today. So yeah, and of course, if you have any questions or anything, that's what these live streams are all about. It's more so answering your all's questions and all that good stuff. And while some more of you all continue to join, I'll go ahead and just start with a couple of questions that I got. One of them, as you've seen probably in the title of the stream, is a lot of you guys were asking about like who we use for suppliers. One of you specifically asked who we get our Trelona annual termite bait stations from. And we do have a couple different providers. We really have one provider we use for almost everything. Occasionally we find, better deals. We're always looking out for, that best deal at the end of the day when it comes to our chemical pricing and all of that good stuff. Give me just a second. My wife left the baby monitor on in here. All right, sorry about that. Usually all that's set up again. Crazy day. But yeah, we do use multiple providers, multiple suppliers. The main one that we do use, however, is a company called Vecerus. If you're looking them up online, you might want to type in like Vecerus Pest Web or Pest Web in general. To be able to get chemical through them, of course, you're going to need licensing and all that good stuff, to get your hands on, Termidor, Trelona, all of that good stuff. Now, of course, technically speaking, you don't have to be, depending on your location, have to be a certified applicator to get your hands on, a lot of chemicals, including in some states, Trelona, which is kind of a weird situation, in all honesty, because I'm pretty sure the label even says you need to be a certified applicator, but some states allow you to still buy it, which, you can find it on eBay and everything else, of course. But we use Vecerus Pest Web for most everything. That includes our Trelona annual termite bait stations. Someone was asking about the pricing. It's been a little while since we have bought some. I usually buy, a few sets at a time. That way, and a few sets is always, relevant to how large your company is, of course. But even way back when I was buying my first couple sets, I bought 3 or 4 sets at a time. Back then, the pricing was somewhere around like $309, $319 per case of, I believe 16 is what they come with. And I believe today it's somewhere around like $329, good old Build Back Better inflation knocking us pretty down, pretty hard in the last year or so, like I'm sure most of you. And let me see. In terms of bulk pricing, you can a lot of times get a lot better deals, especially through a provider like Vesterous. Target is another provider we use, as well as I think it's BWI. BWI we've only used for a very, very select handful of things. More bulk items, bulk product like 40-pound boxes of our, if we're using Nyban or Entice, we use that almost year round down here in Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. And that is one of like our products that we buy by the 40-pound box, and sometimes we buy multiple of them. BWI definitely has the best price when it comes to that kind of stuff. But then Target and Vesterous, you really can't go wrong with either or if you're going with Target or Vesterous. Some people love Target, some people hate Target, some people love Vesterous Pest Web, other people hate Vesterous or Pest Web. I've never really had a bad experience with either one of them. I've only had like one default product ever from Vesterous, which was actually recently. I bought a can of Pure Black, which if you don't know what Pure Black is, it's a like rodent exclusion product that you will use instead of like silicone for like larger gaps and freezer boards and stuff like that. And then we just got a dud can essentially, and they were very cool about it. I went back in there just the other day and I mentioned to them, hey, this thing didn't work at all while I was buying some other stuff, and they asked no questions, no receipt, no nothing. Just I turned it in, they flipped it out with me, no problem. So I've never had a problem with those guys. I think it's all on the rep who you use at the end of the day. What kind of experience you have. Sorry, I was just trying to see if anyone had asked any questions or anything. I see we got like 5 or 6 of you, something like that, in here at the moment. And of course, this is a Q&A as well, so if you have any questions or anything, definitely feel free to shout it out there in the chat. I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to like not get in the way of the camera with my finger or anything like that. But yeah, hopefully, you all are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, definitely make sure to hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that. This stream is definitely going to be a little bit shorter today. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we're running a little bit late today, and that's, continuing into the rest of my day as well. So this stream, we're probably not going to do like too much longer or anything. But if you guys have any questions or anything, definitely, shout it out there in the chat. And I'm hoping that I'm not missing it. I hit the chat button, so it's supposed to be loading up, if you guys ask any questions or anything like that. But yeah, back to the chemical provider. Yeah, like I said, with Vesterous, we use them for pretty much everything, unless if they just happen to be out of something, or, from time to time, I do, price other areas and stuff like that. I'll go online and do, an hour or two of research on Google for just checking out, Alpine WSG or Tempered FX or Seismic, Seismic CS, Taurus, whatever the chemical may be. I'm always looking it up because, of course, you want to keep your chemical costs as low as possible, 5% or less of your budget. That's kind of my rule of thumb is, as long as we're around, 5% is kind of the high end, preferably 3%. But obviously, the more that you buy in bulk, the easier it's going to be to get that down. And, like we said, percentages are all relevant to how large your company is. A company that's starting out new, you're not going to be buying really anything in bulk outside of, maybe some necessities like gloves and stuff like that. But you're not really going to start seeing those bulk discounts until you're buying, in most cases, depending on what you're buying, at least 6 to 12 or more of a certain product. And that's the cool thing about like Vesterous Pest Web, and I believe Target's website as well, is anytime, how's it going there, my world? And I see you again. Anytime you have a product that you're looking at purchasing or putting in your cart, it will ask, or not ask you, it will show you, this is the price if you buy, less than, let's just say 6, for example. And then it'll say, 6 to 12, this price, and 12 to 24 this price. Like, it gives you the bulk price. That way you can see, okay, if I go ahead and buy this many bait stations, for example, because we're in the process of potentially taking over a really big apartment complex in the Dallas area. And I was talking to them this past week about, hey, I'm probably going to need at least 70 rodent bait stations for this complex, maybe more. What would my, you ask for special pricing in that case, because, it caps out at a certain amount. And then, of course, the more that you're going to buy, they're still going to give you better discounts, usually, at least to the best of their ability, of course. Now, like I said early on, you're not going to be able to really necessarily afford to do that. If you can't afford to do that, cool. In my opinion, it's not really worth it. I'd rather invest that money into growing my business early on. But that's just how we did it. At the end of the day, it worked out great for us. It continues to work out great. We just kind of more so buy it as we need it. Now, when I say that, we are blessed enough to have like 5 or 6 chemical, wholesalers in our area, just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area alone. And I'm sure there's more. Those are just the ones that I've known of that I've actually physically gone to. And now, if you're in an area where the closest one to you is 2 hours away or whatever the case may be, and you're going to have the stuff shipped to you, then of course you're probably going to be more considerate of, hey, I need to buy more than enough. Probably going to need to be buying in bulk more often, because you don't want to be, trying to make purchase orders on a weekly basis, or heaven forbid you run out of something and, you're quoting a big job and then you're like, well, yeah, such and such company's charging you more, but they can start tomorrow, where we're not going to be able to start till, 5 to 10 days from now because of shipping reasons. So, definitely, like I always say in these videos, everybody's situation is different. At the end of the day, you just got to, do an overall, cost analysis along with risk analysis, just to figure out, what's going to be best for you and your business at the end of the day. And like I said, we've used Target as well. We've only used Target like twice ever, just because it's not really convenient for me. It's about 45 minutes across North Dallas for me, where I have a Vecerus Pest Web. They used to be called Univar back when I first started my business. Now it's Vecerus. We have one of those literally like 15 minutes from my house. So it's very convenient for me just to drop in when I'm running some stops that are 5 to 10 minutes from there, and figure out what I need to do. But all those are going to be, the best ones that you're going to want to go with for your chemical. Like we're saying, Vecerus Pest Web. If you're looking them up online, I would type in literally Vecerus, and that's VES ERIS, I believe, and then Pest Web, because the website is like pestweb.com or .org, something like that. And then you have to make an account with them and all that good stuff. Target, it's a little more harder to get online access. You have to, I think, either call them and create an account with them, something like that. I know it took me a couple weeks to get an actual online presence with them, like an online account. And then BWI, I think I did all that in person. I believe you can. I don't know actually if they have it online. I believe they have an online catalog, but I don't know if you can actually. I would assume you can order online, but I never have. Again, I'm lucky enough to be able to physically drive to a lot of these locations. But BWI is another, like I said, good if you're more so into buying in the bulk and all that good stuff. And like we said, for Trelona bait stations, for the person who asked in the comments, that we get literally all through Vecerus. I haven't found any pricing yet that's better than Vecerus. Even for the refills, that's another important aspect to Trelona. Of course, the bait station models, you have to have refills for those. Vecerus also has a pretty good deal where if you buy, I think it's 100 of them, like a pack of 100 of the refill cartridges, it comes out to roughly, I forget, it's either $3 or $5 per cartridge, essentially. So it's very, very, very cheap versus buying them individually or buying a small. I think they come in as small as a 5 or 6 pack, something like that. So again, a case where if you're able to buy in bulk, you can get mass savings. I believe the net savings was somewhere around $3 per cartridge or something like that. So you multiply that over 100 or 1,000 of them, you start saving some really big bucks at the end of the day. But yeah, no, other than that, if you guys have any questions, doesn't look like we've had any questions or anything. If you all don't have any questions, we'll probably go ahead and just wrap this live stream up for today. And I'll probably look at, like I said, doing another one for you guys here real soon, since this one was a little bit shorter than most of them. And then I'm trying to get back in the habit of actually uploading those actual videos for you where I do, actual tutorials and stuff like that. So if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified when we either go live or upload one of those tutorials for you guys about, starting and growing a pest control business. Just kind of walking you through my journey. For those of you that are, if you're newer to the channel, I see we got like 7 of you. It looks like either 7 or 9 of you tuning in. If any of you all are new and just don't know who I am, my name's Griffin. I started a pest control company about 3 years ago, right in the middle of COVID, essentially, and we grew that to a 6-figure business in a period of 12 months, essentially. Yeah, pretty much that on 12 months. 6-figure business. Last year we did over 150,000, our like second full year of business, and I just decided, there's not a lot of content out there showing people, explaining to people, what it really takes to start and grow a business, not just in pest control, but in general. But specifically, of course, in the pest control niche, since that's what we're in, obviously. So I figured I'd just kind of document my journey, and do a bunch of Q&As on this channel going forward, designing a bunch of video content around questions that I get in the comments of other videos and on here and stuff like that. And, just kind of build a community around that. We have a question here. Let's see, it's trying to go away. I'm a turf and ornamental pest guy looking to branch into general pests. I've already passed a test, but need help. Oops, what just happened? Where'd it go? There we go. But you need, this is very difficult. I feel like an old man right now. Why is it not letting me? It's not letting me view your message. Let's see. I've already passed the test, but need help setting up a program and start marketing. So yeah, when it comes to marketing, and what do you mean by program, by the way? Are you referring to just like a marketing program, essentially? I'm assuming that's what you meant by that. So when it comes to marketing, I do have some content on this as well on the channel, especially on some of our other Q&As. I would definitely suggest checking those out as well if you're new to the channel. But in short, what I started with when I very first started was called Google Local Service Ads, Google LSA for short. And when you're a new company on there, Google, at least back when I started, they would give you a ton of leads early on at a very low price, depending on your area, as low as $15, as high as like $30. And a lot of these leads are very, very good. I'll say that. Like we'd close, at least 50 to 60% of them. And, average contract value, $500 to $1,000. It was literally like 70 to 90% of our first year's, customer acquisition. And then right after that, they had like some update, or I don't know if it was an update or just the national companies took over it. Like they seem to take over everything with Google. But our traffic from that went down to like 0. I think last year we got like less than 10 customers from that net. And we had probably less than 15 calls from that all year. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was even, one a month on average. But from what I hear, it's still great for companies that are, anything to get a company signed up for that. Google, is pushing for that. So it may still be worth signing up, squeeze it for what you can get out of it. Then probably, plan on moving on. Don't depend on it is essentially what I'm saying. And then of course, Google Ads, more marketing tips, a must for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then of course the Google Ads, which I plan on doing more content on in the future, especially as we get into spring, which here in Dallas is coming up in a few weeks. As we get closer to spring, and I'm actually doing, some of my own, getting my Google Ads fired up and running. I'll, dive in with you guys, explain to you guys kind of how everything works, how I create the ad, how I do the targeting, all that good stuff. I have a Facebook ad running right now, which I've been debating kind of, if nothing else, I'll probably go live or do a video about it, just showing you guys kind of the results of this campaign. And just, did I see it as a success? Did I see it as a failure? It's only been running for about a week now. It hasn't gotten us a lead. However, we're only running $5 a day on it. So, take it for what you will, essentially. Small money, small, reward at the end of the day. Small risk, small reward. But I'm still relatively, I wouldn't say new to Facebook ads. I've done quite a few of them. I've never really had a truly what I would define as successful one. I've learned a lot over the last, specifically year or two about Facebook ads, but I tend to see them kind of as more so brand awareness more than actually, customer acquisition. I believe Google Ads by far for pest control is the best ad platform for specifically customer acquisition. And then these cheaper platforms like Facebook, Instagram, all that, it's more so for brand recognition. That's just my opinion. But I have been trying, a couple things with trying to see if I can, experimenting with different landing pages and whatnot to see if we can, maybe convert some of those clicks into actual, at least leads. Even if they don't sell, can I at least get their contact information to where then I can go over to our email marketing platform and just send, just bombard them until they sign up for something. Let's see. Seems like a different world from TNO. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that side of things. I actually have a cousin who actually just got his license to do, lawn and ornamental stuff as far as customer contact and frequency. Yeah, our frequency, for most customers is going to be quarterly. If you do commercial, it's going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. But yeah, in terms of residential side of things, it's going to be mostly quarterly. There are some cases, of course, where, might need bi-weekly or monthly. Every situation is different, but once you get a cap on the issue, then yeah, usually quarterly service is all you're going to be doing on like a termite pest side of things. And then of course the termite is yearly after you do that initial service. So yeah, it's definitely different. I do have a cousin who's going to be jumping into lawn and ornamental. He has a pest and termite company. He actually just went through rebranding his company to Pest and Lawn up in the Midwest now. So I'm interested to see kind of how his journey goes with that. I keep telling him he needs to do a YouTube channel as well. Because there's never enough information out here for any of us at the end of the day. Not that any of us know everything, but that's the whole point. If we can get more PCOs out here posting about their journey, what both successes and failures, then we can all learn together. But of course, some people have that scarcity mindset. They think if they teach anybody anything, then it's going to take away from them. You have to have an abundance mindset, that's for sure. And if you see me getting close to the camera, it's because I'm streaming from my phone and I'm trying to get the chat pulled up here. You'll need to rebrand too. Yeah. So yeah, because you're kind of in the opposite position as him. You're looking to add pest and termite, it sounds like, or at least pest at the minimum, where he was already pest and termite, and he's doing the opposite. Restoration Addicts. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. I think this is your first time here. If I'm wrong, I apologize. How are you getting leads, my friend? Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So that was what I was kind of explaining. What we're primarily doing, in all honesty, right now, over the last 6 to 12 months now, we've been focusing so heavy on SEO and local. It's called local SEO. You have SEO for your website, which is, going to move your website pages up Google search engine, and then you're going to have local SEO, which is geared towards like that Google map pack, where when someone types in pest control near me, there's that little map pack. You want to pop up in the top 3, top 5 at the most, because there's actually a study on this. The number one tends to get 90% of call volume. And then number 2 tends to get a call from, I think it's like 88% of call volume. Number 3 gets something around like 60 something. It just drops off so big. But after number 3, it really drops off. Like number 4 gets something like 17%. Number 5 gets like less than 10%. And then after that, it's all like under 1% essentially. So the local SEO game, it is tremendously important. It's free. All you literally have to do, essentially, this is, a free hack for you guys. And it's going to sound just stupid. You're going to think I'm ridiculous, but literally getting Google reviews. But hear me out. Not just getting Google reviews. Google wants you to get reviews, but they want you to get reviews consistently. Review velocity is what Google is referring to it as. So the guy who goes out and gets 100 reviews in 2 days is not going to get the same benefit as the guy who got 100 reviews over 90 days, because he was showing consistency, getting reviews over and over. One, it shows to Google that, your reviews probably are not fake versus the guy who randomly got 100 in, 1 or 2 days. And then also it shows that to Google, you are going out of your way to show that, Google matters to your company. You're sending customers, your referral link. Google's algorithm can track all of that stuff. So Google is really big right now on review velocity. And the main thing is I always tell everybody, you should create a QR code, save a screenshot of it in your phone, and every time you get done servicing a new customer for the first time, show them that, ask them, this is what I do. This is literally my